Imagine this. What if tomorrow morning, the entire world decided to stop using the US dollar? Would America become poor overnight? Would the global economy collapse? And here's the biggest question. Why does almost every country on Earth, whether it's America's ally or its rival, still trust the US dollar? Why is oil traded in dollars? Why do countries keep billions of dollars in their foreign reserves? And why is the real power behind the world's strongest military not a weapon, but a simple piece of paper, the US dollar? Today, we're going to uncover how the US dollar came to dominate the world and whether anyone can take its throne in the future. The rise of the dollar. Today, the US dollar is considered the most powerful currency on Earth. But it wasn't always this way. There was a time when the British pound ruled the global economy. Britain was the world's biggest economic and military power. Then came World War II. The war devastated Europe, but the United States emerged stronger than ever. America held the world's largest gold reserves. It had the biggest economy, and it had the power to lend money to nations rebuilding after the war. The world needed America. And soon, it would need America's currency too. The decision that changed everything. In 1944, representatives from 44 countries gathered for one of the most important meetings in financial history. They agreed to create a new global monetary system centered around the US dollar. This became known as the Bretton Woods Agreement. Under this system, other currencies were tied to the dollar, and the dollar itself was backed by gold. The US promised that every $35 could be exchanged for 1 ounce of gold. That promise gave the world confidence, and the dollar became the backbone of international finance when America left gold behind. But then, something shocking happened. In 1971, the United States ended the dollar's convertibility into gold. In simple terms, the dollar was no longer backed by gold. Many believed this would destroy global trust in the currency, but it didn't. The world kept using the dollar. Why? Because America had built something even more valuable than gold. Trust. Trust in its economy, trust in its financial markets, and trust in the stability of the US government. The birth of the petrodollar now comes one of the most important turning points in this story. What's the one thing every country needs? Oil. Cars need it. Factories need it. Airplanes need it. Entire economies depend on it. The United States helped create a system where oil would be traded primarily in US dollars. This became known as the Petrodollar System. And suddenly, if India wanted oil, if Japan wanted oil, if China wanted oil, they first needed US dollars. That meant global demand for dollars would remain enormous, and America's influence would grow even stronger. How can America print so much money? Here's one of the biggest mysteries in economics. When most countries print too much money, their currency loses value. Inflation rises, people lose confidence. But America has printed trillions of dollars over the years, and the dollar remains one of the strongest currencies in the world. Why? Because the entire world wants dollars. Countries store dollars as reserves. Banks use dollars for international transactions. Companies trade in dollars, and investors around the world trust U.S. financial markets. As long as demand stays high, the dollar stays powerful.
America's real superpower. Many people think America's greatest strength is its military, but that's only part of the story. Its real power lies in its economy. Some of the world's largest companies are American. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. These companies influence billions of people every single day, and because they operate largely in dollars, the world remains deeply connected to the U.S. financial system, the dollar, as a global weapon. This is also why America has extraordinary influence over other countries, because most international transactions happen in dollars. If a country loses access to the dollar-based financial system, its ability to trade with the world can be severely restricted. That's why the dollar is more than just a currency. It's a tool of power, a tool of influence, and, sometimes, a geopolitical weapon, one that can shape global politics without firing a single bullet. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.